Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And it looks like Angus MacNeil may well be out of the SNP permanently. His 7-day suspension, which then he extended himself to October, has now, it looks like, been extended forever. It's about to be thrown out of the party, expelled, sent on his way, and told to never darken our doorstep again. A bit of a blow, because he was hoping to come back at time of conference in order to, ensure that he did get selected, of course, so that he could stand at the next elections, because without the party, he's unlikely to win. And they've said, no, we've had enough of that. And it just seems a bit weird that probably the most fervent, independence-minded MP that the SNP have got is actually being expelled from the party for saying that they're not doing enough for independence. Isn't it weird? But there's no accounting for the mental strains that go on within the SNP. But we'll take a look at this article, see what's happening, and see what's happening to both SNP and to Angus MacNeil himself, and why they have had enough of him. Here goes. So, Angus MacNeil set to be expelled from the SNP. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Angus MacNeil looks set to be kicked out of the SNP for good. A senior source told the Herald on Sunday that the veteran MP was in clear breach of the party's rules around making a public resignation. That has been disputed by Mr MacNeil and his supporters, who say he never quit the SNP membership but rather refused to rejoin the Westminster group. I suppose there is a difference, isn't there? You're still an SNP member, you're still an MP under the SNP. You just refuse to join that group in Westminster because you disagree with the way that they're not doing what you believe they should be doing. It's it's a different flavour, I suppose. He announced on Wednesday that he would continue to sit as an independent after being suspended for a week following a row with Chief Whip Brendan O'Hara. In a lengthy statement, Mr MacNeil said he would only stand as the SNP candidate at the next election if there was clarity on independence, as he described it, following October's conference, and he accused the leadership of being utterly clueless. Well, I've got to be honest and say we all agree with him. They are utterly clueless, useless, pointless, Anyway, he was then formally suspended by the party on Friday, with the SNP Member Conduct Committee due to investigate. However, one source said it was unlikely that there was any way back for the outspoken politician. He's basically done, isn't he? Excuse me. They also suggested that the Nahelan Anania MP had jumped before he was pushed. Mr MacNeil has represented the Western Isles constituency since 2005, and the seat is a key target for Scottish Labour at the next election. Well, especially now, especially with MacNeil, getting the boot. I think Labour will be sort of relishing that challenge to take that on. I get the impression that although he's been there quite some time, let's be faced, 18 years. And they tend to stick with whoever they vote for quite some time on the Western Isles. But it's not looking good for the SNP if they boot him out of the party. They'll put some new candidate up that nobody knows. And it's a case now then of, will the latent SNP vote be enough for the new boy? Or will this sort of dissipation of their support that's been going on fairly steadily now for about a year, to be honest, will it hit the tipping point and go enough that whoever stands for the Labour Party will get in? It's a hard call, but it is on such tight margins that seats can be decided. I don't think he'll be a loss. I mean, he is a fairly awful person, but which we've covered all the different things that we've done. I'm not going to go through them, but we all know his sins. Anyway, they've tasked former Daily Record journalist Torquil Crichton to overturn the nationalist majority of 2,438. And in his letter on Wednesday, Mr MacNeil made clear he would certainly be standing at the next election in Nahelan and Anania on an independent platform. That could mean taking on the SNP. Now, of course, if you get him standing and there is an official SNP candidate, they will dilute each other's vote, and Labour should be able to cut straight through the middle. So it's going to be up to the SNP, isn't it? That'll be interesting. Will they even field a candidate, knowing that they'll have a split vote and Labour will get in? It's an interesting one, isn't it? In an interview with the Herald's, Kevin McKenna, Mr MacNeil said that if the party stands a candidate against him, it would confirm the leadership were more interested in vendettas and point scoring than in promoting independence. Splitting the vote of yes supporters would almost certainly guarantee a win for Labour in a constituency with an electorate of just 21,000 people. Now, I just literally said that. It feels like Torkel should have declare a gift. Should have to declare a gift of this size. One Labour source told the Herald, which I thought quite nice. Obviously, with the rules on declaring things that they're given, this is a big one. They've basically been given the seat if the SNP put up a candidate against MacNeil. Asked on Friday about his administrative suspension, Mr MacNeil said, "I did not leave the SNP, and I hope the SNP haven't left me, as that was what went wrong with Labour in Scotland." He said a senior party source disputed the telling the Herald on Sunday. It seems to me like a very public resignation, so yes, it's a breach of the rules. He appears to have given the impression that he is somehow in control of events when the party is about to embark on an internal selections, including for sitting MPs. The reality is he's seen the writing on the wall. Well, he might have done. People are sort of talking about him in whispered tones behind his back because of how awful he is. Who knows? Supporters of Mr MacNeil point out that he did not resign his membership when he refused to take back the whip in Westminster, and that it cannot count as a public resignation. They also said a public resignation needs to harm the party. Mr MacNeil himself said he would dispute that it was a public resignation. However, others have pointed to Margot MacDonald's decision to stand as an independent in the 2003 Holyrood election, despite being a member of the SNP. That was considered then by the National Secretary Stuart Hosey, a man with whom MacNeil shares a lover, to be a public resignation. Hosey used to, of course, be married to Shona Robinson, didn't he? So it's no surprise that he went off and looked elsewhere. If I woke up next to that every morning, I'd be looking elsewhere. Awful woman. Selections for the general election, widely expected next year, are currently taking place, and would-be candidates are required to have their applications in place before August the 21st. The SNP Conduct Committee is likely to have concluded before then. So effectively, yes, he's out. He's out first thing. He's got to go. They just don't want him anymore. Plus, he's been so embarrassing for them with all the things that he's done. Although you'd hard push to be embarrassed about anyone doing anything in the SNP when you see some of the people in there. Anyway, there we go. I'll round that off. I shall come up, and we can just be thankful that MacNeil will soon be no longer an MP. He's got until probably autumn next year, and then he's gone. Hooray! Coming up. Now, of course, it may just be possible for him to save his seat. He'll have to do maybe three things. One, go and make a massive an embarrassing public apology to the party, making it public, saying he didn't intend to cause anything, sort of prostrate himself publicly. Secondly, he'll have to undertake to not do anything stupid again, like this. And thirdly, he'll have to rejoin the Westminster group, and he'll have to do all three of those things, tail between his legs, looking very cowed, and hopefully the selection committee for him may accept it as an apology, saying we'll put it down to a moment's madness, that kind of thing, and keep his seat. I don't think he'll be prepared to do that. I think he will just say no, and he will stand as an independent, and then he'll split the vote, and Labour will be in, and that'll be another SNP seat gone, which is good. It's a good thing. So anyway, there he is. He can obviously go off and spend more time with young girls, or whatever other hobbies he's got, and Westminster will be a better place for it, I think. Scotland will certainly be a better place for it. Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, they all eventually leave Parliament. It's not the ones that are going that are the problem, though, is it? It's who's replacing them. Bye.